Good evening, campers, and welcome aboard the Starship Nightwish. I'm Commander Exorcist, and it is time, once again, for Talk O Tuesday. This is my weekly Elite Dangerous show where I pick a Galnet article, read it, talk about it, primarily from a lore perspective, but I will break the fourth wall if necessary. And oh my goodness, I'm hoping that you're all having a fantastic week because it has been a very interesting time in Elite Dangerous. And, I'm not very happy about the article that I'm about to read. I haven't read the whole thing, try not to, but I have skimmed enough to know that I'm probably not going to be happy with it. And this article that we're going to read came out a few days ago, but I decided just to wait till today to do it. I almost sat down and did a video the day that it came out because of the significance of the event, but I figured that we'll just kind of wait and see if anything else came of it. And most likely, if something's going to come of it, it'll come out after I make this video. So, that is just kind of the roller coaster ride that we live. So let's get into the article because the Emperor, my beloved Emperor, has been attacked. These cowardly thugs tried to kill the Emperor, and we're going to talk about that. So, somebody, and before we get started with the article, I'll just say that as far as we can tell, nothing outside the wall, nothing in-game is happening in the Cubeo system yet. It may be a hint for something later to come down the road, but at the moment, immediately after this article came out, some people I know did some reconnaissance in that system and weren't able to find anything of consequence. But that is possibly part of the Imperial Security Force, mopping up operations very quickly so that you don't have a bunch of commanders running for some kind of morbid tourism. But we're going to talk about Emperor Arisa ambushed in the Cubeo system. Emperor Arisa has survived an assault on her convoy in the Cubeo system. Imperial Guard pilots fought off the perpetrators in a brief but intense firefight. Yours truly was part of the Imperial Guard. I was part of the Imperial Navy, and that is where I retired from before I became an explorer. So I know these people, and they are no joke. You do not want to mess with the Imperial Guard. They get a lot of flack for being servants of the Emperor at that high of a level, but that is a really prestigious position to be in. The Emperor was returning from a state visit to Cubeo 3, where communities across the planet were hosting a biennial harvest festival in her honor. Love harvest festivals. You can get all kinds of cool stuff. Little foods and weird knickknacks and stuff that you can only find on these worlds. And each world is different. That's really cool. So Cubeo 3's got some pretty interesting stuff too. En route to the orbiting INV Akinar's Valor, a squadron of unidentified ships dropped out of Sumer Cruise and attacked her shuttle amidst the dozen Imperial Guard vessels protecting it. Imagine the cojones on the people that did that. Like, you're going to attack the Emperor of Akinar in her flagship just for fun? What were you thinking? What were you thinking? Colm Tornkist wrote the following for the Imperial Herald. As far as we've been able to ascertain, the conflict between these shameless aggressors and the Imperial Guard was significant. Yeah, I'm sure it was. Significant for both sides, and the losers found out pretty quickly what a mistake that was. There is no doubt that the Emperor was the main target of a mission in which no participant expected to survive. Hey, that's an interesting twist. Like I said, I haven't read this. That's a kind of an interesting thought. I was kind of looking at it from, kind of a fool's errand, like, hey, maybe we'll get lucky and we'll get that one golden shot that'll take out the Emperor and cause chaos in the Empire, which in the middle of a war is just really strange anyway. But Trunkist is really kind of onto something here. No participant was expected to survive. A suicide mission. I wonder what that means. Could it be a distraction from something else? Thankfully, the overwhelming skill and firepower of the brave Imperial Guard were able to screen the Emperor's shuttle from severe damage. The hostile vessels were destroyed in short order. That's really crazy. I mean, who would have the resources at the moment? Everybody's everybody's off either doing their own thing, or the other resources are kind of piled in with the superpowers dedicated to the Thargoid War. So who would have the ability to do that? Now, there's plenty of people out there. Don't get me wrong. You have splinter groups and other agencies that would love to see the Emperor taken down. But I mean, for something like this, it's kind of exciting because somebody's about to get spanked. Senator Denton Petraeus labeled the attack as outrageous as it was foolish. Yeah, good job, Petraeus. That's pretty accurate. And proposed an increase in the Emperor's security presence for public appearances. He stopped short of blaming any specific entity for the attack, but claimed that the Empire's traditional foes have nurtured the true ambitions in the shadow of the Thargoid conflict. And he's right. I just said that people are off doing their own thing. And so there's a lot of war technology out there. And just because somebody has access to these weapons of war, and we give them in good faith, or we sell them in good faith that you're going to attack a Titan, or you're going to go and attack a Spire site, or do something to help advance, humanity's retaliation against the Thargoids and to retake our systems, that doesn't mean that there aren't people out there that are stockpiling or even modifying these weapons and defensive systems to fit more of a nefarious goal. That is, when you think about war in general, we think about this war in general, I think that is probably a true threat. It's a devastating reality of what's to come. All of these war advancements that we have against the Thargoids, if we win the war and we don't have any more Thargoids to fight, those weapons are still going to be around. And I guarantee you people are going to turn them on each other. I know we had kind of an incident a few months back where that had happened with some AX pilots. And, and I'm not saying that happened or whether that was right or wrong, but what I'm saying is that I think that's an indicator of what we should expect over time. These weapons that we have fine-tuned can be turned on us. And so it is a concern. The militaries and the bureaucracies of the superpowers need to be ready for humans with Thargoid weapons or anti-Thargoid weapons, turning them on each other once the war is over, or maybe even now, because we can't assume that everyone's involved or everyone involved has the best of intentions. There's always somebody out in the corner that has their own weird way of thinking about things, and they just want to see people burn. They just want to see the galaxy burn. And there's no negotiating with them. There really isn't. People like this who are willing to throw themselves into a suicide mission, there's no negotiating with people like that. They're committed to their cause. And so it's unfortunate that we, after all these centuries, we still haven't gotten out of that. We really haven't. Denton also stated that further aggressions would invite a reminder that the power and the resources of the Imperial fleet can eradicate human threats just as efficiently as Xeno ones. And it's almost like it was a test. Almost like it was a test of some kind from, a group to see if the Empire was paying attention. And, I mean, they did well. They took out the enemy. But, one potential option is that it was a test. You've got some people out there that are maybe plotting against the Empire, and they wanted to see what they could do. And they saw what they perceived as a moment of weakness, but it wasn't. And it could have been a test. I don't know. Or it could have been a foolhardy mission of an entire group of people. That could have been everybody. Princess Aisling, who regularly uses Cubeo as a headquarters for her many state programs, condemned the incident as a regrettable act by the lost or the desperate, and spoke of her relief at her aunt's survival. At the time of the attack, the princess was in Duamta, good God, as part of her collaboration with the Aegis Initiative. Okay, so a couple of thoughts about this. This is a really shocking thing to happen, especially these days. We've had kind of this dry spell where we haven't gotten a lot of political intrigue or activities like this, and a lot of the stuff we've got has been focused almost exclusively on the Federation. Discussions with Winters and Hudson and Rhea 3 and the Thargoids and all this stuff. So there's been like this kind of stovepipe and a siloed perspective of things. This is different, and this is old school. This is old school stuff. We used to get things like this all the time with major events for our major players and our power play. But power play is kind of where I'm leading with this. What does this have anything to do with power play? And I hope, I'm just guessing, I hope that the Emperor is not at risk, because we are approaching power play. We are approaching power play 2.0. This is the moment when, things are going to change. The dynamics of the galaxy and who controls what is about to change. And I'd hate to see something happen to the Emperor. I really would. Because we know Hudson's out the door. But what if the Emperor is out the door as well? What if this is Aisling's doing? Huh? Tinfoil hat? Or what if this is the catalyst that leads to some kind of event where we lose the Emperor? And because, she disappeared at one point. She was gone for like a year, replaced by a clone or something. Like, the Emperor has had a really interesting story over her time, over the lifespan of the game. So it'll be really fascinating to see how this develops. I hope that it develops into something. Most likely, what we'll see, if this doesn't develop into anything that says like galaxy changing or dealing with power play or anything, if history holds true to the way this works, what we'll end up seeing is a retaliation via Galnet. You'll read about how the special forces for the Empire found the Splinter Cell and took them out, and that's the end of them. And then they'll be linked, say, to some other organization, maybe a bigger one that we know, and that'll be about it. Or there might be a small CG or something. I don't know, but that's kind of wishful thinking, even that much. It would be nice to see more of this developed, but I'm really glad that my Emperor, my beloved Emperor, is safe and sound. Kudos to the Imperial Guard pilots. Don't mess with them. They have many, many, many combat hours under their belt. They don't get chosen to protect the Emperor just because they have great hair. All right, and if you guys would like to support the work on this channel, patreon.com/Commander Exorcist is the way to do it. These are the disciples. These people keep this channel going. Your contributions are vital and appreciated. If you join, you get early access to some projects I'm working on, behind-the-scenes videos, special stuff that doesn't make it here on the main channel. That's right, I make stuff that some of you never see. All right, everybody, and that's going to be it. That was pretty interesting. That was definitely a breath of fresh air from the constant politics that we've had to deal with Winters and everything else over the last couple of weeks. So, but I'm really excited to see that, there's some life out there as far as the Empire, and there's a little bit of intrigue. I'll just say this, my final opinion on it, what I think's really happening is one of two things. One, nothing is happening, and it's probably the part of a small story arc. Or two, this could be the Emperor's swan song for replacement or a change in status with Power Play 2.0. Do I know for sure? Absolutely not. Have no clue. That's why I'm just kind of throwing out a bunch of guesses. I mean, who knows what happened. But I'm glad that she's okay, and I'm glad that the threat was neutralized, and I hope that in short time, the Imperial services can hunt down the people responsible, and we make them pay. Don't mess with the Emperor. I'm Commander Exorcist. Take care. Fly safe, and I'll see you guys out there. Good night.